Hello guys, I'm Eljon H. Ferrer from BSECE 3C. ECE 23 Performance Task 3. So this performance task 3 is about pulse width modulation. So what is pulse width modulation? Pulse width modulation is a modulation technique that generates variable width pulses to represent the amplitude of an analog signal. Pulse width modulation is used for ROV applications to control the speed of DC motor or the applications of a brightness of a light bulb. Pulse width modulation waveform. So guys, this is the pulse width modulation waveform. Pulse width modulation animation. So the pulse width animation shows that as the input signal increases, as the width of the signal also increases. Same it if the input signal decreases, the width of the input signal also decreases. So where do we use pulse width modulation? First, in telecommunications. Second, control DC motors and servo mechanics. Third, power delivery. Fourth, voltage regulation. Fifth, microinverters or solar or in wind power. So Nbds, pulse width modulation, or natural sampling BD single-sided. So in the next slide, I'm gonna explain you one by one how E side, B side, difference and common are become like this in the graph. So for A side, so can you see for A side the reference slope, the blue dot. You can notice the intersection point once the signal of the slope intersects the A side signal switches from logic 1 volts to 0 volts, and note that every start of the time frame the A side were always logic 1 volts. For the B side, notice the intersection point also once the signal and the slope intersects. The B side signal switches from logic 1 to logic 0, and note that every start of a time frame the B side are always logic 1 or 1 volts. Take note guys. So for the differential of the signal, for the differential of signal, example, the sub-time frame for A side and B side were both logic 1 volts. Therefore, 1 volt on the A side and 1 volt on the B side is equals to 0 volt. Then the equivalent of to logic 0. So it's easy like that. So for common, just get the average signal of A side and B side with the difference of the change of state of both sides. So guys, this is just for the common. You have to add the A side and B side so you can get the common. That is the easiest. So guys, that's all. Thank you.